You're watching Checkpoint. Thank you for staying with us. As President Uhuru Kenyatta addresses the nation tomorrow, among Kenyans that will be keenly watching his speech are politicians whose routine has been largely affected by the COVID-19 related restriction of movement. Tonight, in our continued special coverage, BBI Watch, Murimi Mwangi looks at how COVID-19 restrictions have affected the routine of politicians and how the pandemic could change campaign models should the pandemic persist during a likely referendum ahead of the 2022 polls.
Sights and sounds of a well-attended political rally. The ideal Kenyan routine during electioneering period and most common and effective way to sell one's agenda to the electorate. But enter the highly contagious coronavirus disease and it's certainly business unusual under stringent restrictions that prohibit congestion and public gatherings. A basis upon which police have on several occasions disrupted political meetings such as Ford Kenya leader Moses Wetangula's recent Bungoma homecoming roadside addresses and a subsequent meeting at Malava legislator Malulu Njedi's home.
Asante kwa kufika kwenu.
Politicians consequently now among Kenyans keen on President Uhuru Kenyatta's Monday address, particularly now with campaigns for and against the soon-to-be-launched Building Bridges Initiative report expected to begin in earnest.
In view of the new times, I expect that the technical committee should advise the country as to whether we can actually use a parliamentary route and avoid a referendum. How we can avoid a referendum, if it is possible, because campaigning in these times is going to be very difficult.
But just how have the COVID-19 restrictions affected the routine of busy politicians? And what new campaign models are top leaders likely to adopt should the pandemic stretch on into the highly anticipated referendum and 2022 polls? Perhaps the country's busiest politician, Deputy President William Ruto, had prior to the pandemic a consistent schedule attending church services across the country, but with the churches closed and huge gatherings discouraged, including what had been his routine project launching and development tours. Ruto's current office has lately been busier than usual, meeting different small delegations such as this of religious leaders, and recently with tens of Juakali artisans, including these two brains behind this convertible picnic table bench. Like Ruto, ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi's Riverside private office has equally been busy hosting a series of strategy meetings. Still, some leaders bold enough to hold political gatherings during the pandemic, such as the team led by Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa and Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya, and the rival Musalia Wetangula wing. Pressure has been growing on the BBI team to sanction an expansion of the executive to have in place a post of Prime Minister in 2022. A push that signals the likelihood of Kenyans heading to a referendum. Yet with the uncertainty of the pandemic and Kenyatta's puzzle on when to relax the stringent COVID-19 related restrictions, technology might play a critical role in the campaigns, such as in Uganda, which due to go to the polls in 2021, has banned all political gatherings, with the Electoral Commission restricting campaigns to online and through the media.
It's not a Kenyan problem alone, and therefore whatever the president will do or the Kenya will do will be informed first by the reports from the medical experts. That's the first thing. And that will inform how the other social, economic, the other bits are actually addressed. And Kenya is part of the global village.
What will have to happen, sometimes I know, our immune system will come to fight and we get used to it like another flu. And we continue doing business as usual because we must be mindful about our economy more than anything else.
State House is yet to announce when Kenyatta will officially receive the BBI draft, while Odinga is still out of the country on treatment. And as the head of state makes his Monday address, politicians will be keenly watching as the headache of how to stay ahead of rivals in the game continues amid the pandemic. Murimi Mwangi, KTN News.